guys, welcome back to Make It with Podge. My name's Cathie Fillion, and today I've got 4 quick, easy projects for the 4th of July and for your patriotic holidays. I'm going to show you how you can take dollar store solar lights and create these fun tabletop solar lights for outdoors. We're going to do a faux Americana quilt using fabric Mod Podge. We're going to make a really cute utensil caddy with a wood crate, and I've got a quick idea for glittering tea lights. All right, let's dive right into project number 1. Okay, our first project is going to be some 4th of July solar lanterns using some supplies from the dollar store. So what we're going to use is just these stake lights like this. These are solar lights. These are from the dollar store. And I picked up these clear vases like this from the dollar store. Now, one thing that's going to be important is you want to make sure that your solar lights fit into whatever you are using. So you can recycle bottles, you can pick up some glass vases like this. Just make sure they slide right down on in. And these do come apart, so you can take them apart like this, and you could just do a topper if you wanted to. But I like that sort of little faux crystal look on the top there, so I said let's keep that, and we will just drop them in. So basically we're gonna make a napkin decoupaged holder that will hold our tea lights, not our tea lights, our solar lights. And these are really cool for putting on tables at nighttime. They charge up in the day, so if you're having a party or you just want some nice lighting for your outdoor area, these will just turn on as soon as it gets dark. So we're only gonna work with the top printed ply of the napkin. I found some patriotic firework napkins. And a tip is to go ahead and put a little piece of tape on that corner. We're gonna separate those plies. You don't want to use the white part or else it's gonna get really, really wrinkled. So we'll just go ahead and separate that. Again, we're just using that top printed ply. And right now there is tons of these fun napkins out at the stores. They're just all over. Okay, so I've got my top printed ply, and this is my vase that I wanna cover. So we're gonna just trim up our napkin a bit because, let's see, we can go this direction, yeah. All right, so we just want enough to wrap around and a little bit to seam it. So you'll just go ahead and trim it up. So from this one napkin, it looks like we can get 2 of our lamp holders. So that's pretty great value. 1 napkin, 2 different ones. So that's ready to go. Now we're gonna use satin Mod Podge. You can use gloss or matte, it doesn't matter. You could use the outdoor formula for top coating if you wanted to. You could top coat with the dishwasher safe if you wanted to, if you felt like these were gonna be out in the elements more. Okay, we'll go ahead and just coat the whole bottle. And I'm not using a real thick coat, but you do wanna make sure you coat the whole thing. Sorry, I called it a bottle. This is a vase. But you can use a bottle, you can use a recycled bottle, you can find bottles at the craft store in the glass section, decorative ones. You just wanna go ahead and get your solar light first and then find your vase. That's what I find to be the easiest. Go ahead and get that top coated. And kids can do this. This is a great project that you can do leading up to the 4th of July. If you've got people coming over for your backyard, you might want to even make a dozen of these. Very easy. Okay, we've got it all coated. Now I'm gonna add just a little bit to that top rim, just like so. Just a light coating. Now this is just some water in a spray bottle, and I think that this helps with wrinkles in the napkin, just to dampen it. You don't want to get it saturated, you're just going to dampen it. And you want to make sure that you're doing this for this napkin. We're going to be placing it on this direction. So you want to make sure that you spray it with the napkin on the side up that you want to pick it up, because once you spray it, you can't tell the front from the back. But when it dries, you'll be able to tell. So just give that a mist, just like so. And then this part gets a little bit messy. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, I wish I had another hand. Let's just go ahead and place that right on down. You have a little time to pick it up, kind of move it into position. And just gently, just very gently tapping, trying not to get wrinkles, trying not to get tears. If you did get a tear or a wrinkle, you can patch it with a little piece wrinkles you can just smooth out with your fingers. If you get too many, you can at this point, and even when it's dry, you could soak the napkin off and start over. You really aren't out much since it's just a napkin. And you'll spin that around. And again, I'm just holding it gently. We can trim a little bit more off. This is not a perfect up and down shape. It has a bit of a curve to it. So you have to kind of piece it a little bit. Go ahead and smooth out those wrinkles. You are gonna have some wrinkles where it gets narrower. They're very hard to avoid. So you just wanna press it and it will become part of the design. Okay, now we are at the point, let's trim a little bit more off of the neck area here because it's so much more narrow there. Now we can add a little bit more of our Mod Podge right down that seam spot, and let's start to fold that over. And barely applying pressure with the brush, barely touching. And that's kind of the key. If you push too hard, that's when you get the tears. So you just want to kind of tap, lightly do it, and push down. Okay, now for our bottom, what you would do is at the very end, we will go ahead and Mod Podge all that to the bottom. For right now, I want to show you our top. Oh, I Mod Podged my hand in there. There we go. So for our top, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of Mod Podge in there. And we'll just start to gently fold our napkin over that edge. Very simple. And you can see this napkin's already wanting to deteriorate. There we go. And just let that brush do the work, gluing it down. And now you're gonna set it aside and let it dry. And once it's dry, you'll flip it over and Mod Podge the bottom of the napkin to the bottom of the vase. And when it's completely dry, you'll just go ahead and pop in one of your solar lanterns like this, and it creates this really cool glowing effect. Now these normally you would stick into the ground, so these are really great for tabletops, side tables, or if you have a snack table that you're setting up, anything like that. Really great, under $2.50 solar 4th of July lighting idea. Okay, so you can finish these off in a lot of different ways. On this one, I added a silk flower and some ribbons. It's the sky's the limit, however you want to do it. This is a great project for under $2.50. You got some great lighting. Okay, let's move on to project number 2, which is going to be some faux quilted patriotic pillows. Okay, for our patriotic pillows, we're going to use fabric Mod Podge. This is a fabric to fabric formula and it is washable. These pillows, this is a half done one. These are pillow blanks that you can pick up at the craft store. You can make over a pillow that you already have. You can make over a thrift store pillow or a big box store pillow. Just find a pillow blank. And for our faux quilting, really you can use any quilting pattern or style that you like. I'm going with a traditional style here. And what I did was I cut out my quilting shapes. I just made some paper templates. You can download these. These are just basic square shapes and triangles that get overlapped. And I'm using 100% cotton fabrics here. I've got some popsicles, pinwheels, fireworks, stars, some flowers. I love these kind of country flowers. So I've gone ahead and attached the base of our faux quilt design using the fabric Mod Podge, and I want to show you how you can layer up these designs. So I've got one last piece to add down, and that's my popsicle piece, which I'm going to do in a diamond pattern right in the center of the design. And for that, it's so simple. This, I mean, we're doing these for, 4th of July and for our patriotic holidays, but you can do this for Halloween, Christmas, whatever you want, even for your everyday. So all you're gonna do is take your fabric Mod Podge and start in the back of your fabric. Now, if you're gonna be machine washing your fabric or your project once it's done, it's best to begin with fabrics that have been pre-washed. If you wash your fabric, then just don't use fabric softener, and you're gonna wanna iron out your fabric. So you just wash it regular, you don't need fabric softener, and iron it. And you're gonna apply the fabric Mod Podge to the back of the fabric. And I'm doing this kind of, you know, quilted design. I thought that was nice and sweet, kind of Americana. My grandma was a quilter. I love quilting. My great grandma was a quilter. I even have her quilts. So this is a little bit of a no-sew nod to them. Go ahead and add that all there. Make sure you get those edges. You can see I have a few pieces fraying there. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna trim that once I get that up onto the pillow. Let's get our edges, just a nice thin coat. Peel that up. This is the hardest part. It's just getting it down. So let's go ahead and start at this top section here. And that into position. And you'll start in the center and kind of smooth it down. You're really just gluing it down with the fabric Mod Podge. Now, I told you about those little frays. Here's a little one here. You can just go in and trim that away if you see one. Okay, you can see that's how simple it is to make a really fun patriotic pillow. Now, for this one, I did this traditional shape, but you can do whatever you want. And if you wanted to top coat it, you can. I'm not top coating this one because I'm not really planning on machine washing it. But if you did want to top coat it, you would just apply a layer of the Mod Podge over your fabric design. And on the bottle, it has all of the really specific details on how to make that machine washable. All right, let's move on to project number 3. We're gonna make over a wood crate into a utensil caddy. Okay, for our crate makeover, we're going to use the Mod Podge satin. And again, you could use gloss or matte if you wanted to. All the different craft stores have crates in a lot of sizes, and I've even seen mini crates over at the dollar store. And for this project, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it natural, which is going to let some of that color pop through on the wood grain. If you wanted a solid look with your napkin, you could go ahead and paint it with a coat of white paint. And for this project, we're gonna go ahead and add our satin directly onto the wood crate, to the front of the wood crate. I'm using that same napkin, so we're creating like kind of a coordinated look for our outdoor area. And I've just cut strips of the napkin to fit onto the wood slats. And they're a little bit oversized so that I've got enough to wrap around. And then one thing I wanna do is just go ahead, line that up. Yep, I've got a little bit extra on each side, and that's perfect. That way you don't have to worry about landing it perfect. We are gonna put napkins all the way around it, so if you have a little bit of overlap, don't worry, it's just gonna get covered up by the next napkin. So you'll go ahead and apply your Mod Podge directly to your wood surface. And this is unfinished wood. Go ahead and add that down. And we're gonna spray our napkin the same way we did earlier. So for this one, I know I'm gonna place it down this direction. So I wanna make sure that I have my napkin upright prior to the spritzing. Just makes it easier, less that you have to hold it. And we'll go ahead and center that down. And just gently, let's see, got a little bit of time to work with it. Position it. And go ahead and smooth out any of those wrinkles. Now these caddies you could do for anything. I'm gonna put utensils in here. You could put, you know, your condiments, ketchup, mustards, those kinds of things. If you've got jars of candy or something you're displaying. Okay, and you'll just wrap that around, just as easy as that. You'll just be piecing it together. And on here, this is kind of tricky to see, but I'm gonna add a little strip of Mod Podge right in there. And I'm working upside down, so please forgive me if I'm not hitting it exactly where I need to. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, then we'll just go ahead and fold that back down. Just like so. Now over here on our edges, same kind of thing. We'll just add a little bit there. And remember, we're going to put a whole big piece of napkin here. You could also paint it. I mean, you know, these are all just ideas for inspiration. But everyone likes to have a fun party look. So this is just a really simple, fun way to add napkins to a crate. You could do this same technique with paper, scrapbook paper, and even with fabric. Go ahead and do that corner there. And then you would just continue on Mod Podging your napkin all the way around. Now up here, I'm gonna add another napkin and I'm gonna add some ribbons and some decorations. You could stencil a name here, a word here, Happy 4th, whatever you wanted to do. Really simple way to make over a wood crate is just with some napkin decoupage. All right, let's move on to project number 4. I've got a really quick way to add some glitter to tea lights. Okay, let's get started on our last 4 for the 4th of July project. This is so simple. We're gonna make some glittered tea lights. Now, these Patriotic tea lights came in a big box set like this. So fun and easy to do. I got those on super sale and I love the colors. What you're gonna do is just pop out your tea light and set that aside. And I'm gonna pour a little bit of our Mod Podge into a small container because I don't want to contaminate it. Whenever I'm working with glitter, I just pour a little bit out so I don't get any glitter in my big jar. Now, of course, for the patriotic season, I'm using red, white, and blue. So I'm gonna do this one red. I'm doing red on red. You can mix it up however you want. And what we're gonna do is just go along and brush our Mod Podge along the edge. Super simple. Just like so. And then literally it's as easy as sprinkling some glitter on there. And this is a fun project that kids can do to make some decorations, some tea lights for your backyard fun over the holiday weekends. Just like that. And then you'll tap off your excess glitter and let's just set that aside onto our wax paper. Now I have one here that has one coat on it. Look at that. So if you wanted to, I mean, that's pretty good, but you can see here, you can do a second coat. And one thing I like to do too is sometimes just pour a little bit of glitter out and let's go in, add a little bit of glitter over that. You can see why I don't want to be dipping back into my jar and I use a little container, just like so. I have done these at Easter with pastels and they're just so fun and pretty. You can just kind of roll it in there, roll it to top coat it, or you can go in and do the sprinkle method. The sprinkle method gets it coated better, but it's a little bit messier. And I always do that over a piece of paper so that you can funnel your glitter back in. Tap that off and then you'll set it aside and let it dry. And once it's dry, you can just pop that candle right back in there and of course funnel your glitter back into your glitter jar. All right, let's take a quick recap of the 4 projects that we made today. All right, let's take a look at those projects. Let's start with our faux quilted pillow. I love how it turned out. I love all the fun patriotic fabrics together. And we've got our outdoor solar lanterns, again, perfect for your tabletop party display. We've got our finished, adorable silverware caddy all ready to go, ready to celebrate the 4th of July. And don't forget about our easiest project ever, our little glittered tea lights. Thanks so much for crafting along with me today. I'll be back here next Thursday on Plaid's Facebook channel and Instagram, and Saturdays on YouTube. Make sure you use those hashtags Plaid Crafts and Mod Podge. Subscribe, hit that like, share, pin. We'll see you next week.